from all around your lawn. I'm here to tell you how football is.
Good morning and welcome again to the GDFL Footy Show, coming to you live from Channel 44 on a beautiful Saturday morning. Another big round of footy on this afternoon. But it was a big round last weekend with a Friday night game out at the Gun Club. The Winchelsea Blues, they hosted the Belmont Lions. Have a look at that, folks. These are the new lights out at the Winchelsea Football Ground with their new complex out there. Absolutely magnificent. Look at that in the background there with those beautiful trees and everything. And the word has it that the lights went out in the timekeeper's box, and our floor manager and the other timekeeper had to stick miners hats on so they could see what was going on out there. Gee, that's a fantastic sight, that, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Look at those new rooms. I know everybody was down there, the Winchelsea people, the community, very proud of their new complex down there at the Gun Club. But unfortunately, the Belmont Lions were much too good for the Winchelsea Blues and spoilt the party. Chris Canavan, the JK Caravan man, he's kicked 12 goals. Absolutely sensational form at the moment. East Geelong Eagles, too good for Geelong West. Lucas Murphy continuing on his great form with 6 goals. Up at the Duck Pond, Werribee Central's too good for Bannockburn. Nathan Lovell in the ruck, fantastic game, and best on the ground. Grubby can talk a little bit more about him later on. The Belpost Hill Panthers, too good for the Anarchy Roos. Probably burst their bubble a bit, Anarchy. They found out what it's like to play in the big league. Inverleigh Hawks, yes, they're back in town. They won their second game for the year. They knocked off the Cry Devils, and that was a big opening of their rooms out there at the Cry Devils playground as well. And, of course, our big special guest on later this morning from the Inverleigh Hawks, and all you mums out there, you'll know who it is when you see him because you look forward to him every Saturday morning last year. And the 94.7 match of the day was out at the Keith Barclay Oval with the Tommy Tigers. Absolutely too good for the North Geelong Magpies. Luke Forbes kicking 6 goals. Matthew Wallen, an absolutely sensational game for the Thomson Tigers, best on the ground. Hi, I'm Dick Philpott, and once again I have assembled some of the biggest names and brains in country football to eradicate, adjudicate, communicate, and definitely not procrastinate. And he is the number one commentator in country footy. Eric Nicholls, good morning.
Good morning, Dick. It's nice to be back once again, and a day like today could be a good day for a good afternoon tea.
Fantastic indeed. Yeah, I must admit I was a bit ordinary on Wednesday, but I feel fantastic on a Saturday morning. So knows what a couple of days will do to you. And of course he is known as, I'm known as the biggest man in football. This man's known as the smallest man in the world. He is the Richard Grubby Cations from the Duck Pond. Good morning, Grubby.
Yeah, good morning, Dick. Actually, they reckon I'm taller if I lay on me back.
I'm going to think about that one, folks. I haven't got a clue what he's talking about. What are you talking about when you lay on your back?
Me guts. What's the use? If you're that stupid.
Now, I actually find if I lay on my front, I can rock myself to sleep. That's another story as well. The funny things that happen, eh? Yes, well, as we said, out at the North Geelong Footy Ground, the Keith Barclay Oval, the 94.7 match of the day, there was a fantastic result there for the Tommy Tigers. And after the game, Eric Nicholls caught up with Tom McKay from the Thomson Tigers. Here's Eric.
Player of the day, Thomson versus North Geelong. Tom McKay, the half-forward flanker for the Thomson side. Tom, congratulations, great game.
Thanks, yeah. It was just good to get both a win in the end after last week's hard game against Inverleigh. It was good to come out and play 4 quarters, so yeah, it was good.
As commentators, we thought you liked the goal. A couple of magnificent left-foot snaps early and then 3 beautiful right-foot goals. 5 for the day. Kicked 5 goals in the game very often?
I've kicked a couple of bags of 4, but that's the first 5 I've kicked, so yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was really good to get on the end of a couple, so no, it was good.
And a very good performance in winning the game. North, very strong opposition all day. Thomson seemed to get it together today.
Yeah, I think through the week we focused on our contested possession, our spread, so it's good to see that it paid off, so it's good.
And you're able to get the ball clear of the centre with Grigg not playing. Bowles did a fantastic job for you. You're an on-baller. You fed off him quite a few times. He did a good job in the ruck.
He did a really good job. He's just crossed over from St Joey's, so it's his first time there. He's been really good, so... but hopefully we can get Russell back next week, so it'll be good.
And up forward, Forbes very strong again. Had he kicked straight, could have got 10.
I think he kicked 6 points, so he could have ended up with 15 probably. So yeah, no, it was good. It was a good performance by Luke. He's been good all year, so.
And in the third quarter, you seemed to break the game open. Did North tire, or did your game plan change a little at half time?
I think we stepped it up. We came out pretty hard in that third quarter. Like, we've been focusing on a lot, the contested possessions. So no, it was good actually that we, focused on that area and actually got a few goals. So yeah, it was good.
Fantastic effort, great performance from you individually. Great from the team. Thanks very much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great interview there from Eric Nicholls with Tom McKay from the Thomson Tigers. And Eric will be back again next week with an interview from the 94.7 match of the day. We're going to have a look at the ladder now. We'll stick it on the screen so you can all have a look and see exactly where your team is situated at the moment. And of course the Tommy Tigers are on top, undefeated, going along very nicely at the moment on 32 points, and they haven't lost a game yet, followed by Belpost, Hill, Anarchy, East Geelong Eagles and the Bannockburn Tigers make up the final 5, followed by North Geelong, Werribee Centrals, Belmont Lions, Inverleigh Cry, Geelong West, and the Pearl Winchelsea Blues yet to open their account in 2012. I'll go to you, Eric, and just an interesting comment by the final 5, or the ladder as it stands at the moment. East Geelong, Bannockburn, North Geelong and Winchelsea, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, all on equal wins at the moment. That's probably the only battle that's worth thinking about at this stage, you'd think.
Well, certainly those 4 sides are going to be vying for 2 in the top 5, I think, Dick. And East Geelong, resounding win last week, probably another percentage builder today. They're going to, if things happen to fall the right way, they could end up 3rd tonight. So that they're in the box seat at the moment. As Grubby and I were saying last week, Werribee Central's in the hot seat. They desperately need percentage, Grubby, and I think it's going to be most important in the games to come. And the draw for all of these teams is going to be enormous, because 2 into 4 won't go.
Well, that's right, and we say it every week, but I think Werribee Centrals do have the harder draw than North Geelong and, of course, Bannockburn. They've got to pull off an upset, and they've got to get some percentage, because if they all finish like this, their percentage won't be good enough. Obviously, Dick, you think that they're going to finish exactly how they are.
I must say that I think the middle part of the ladder is reasonably set at the moment. I think that Thomson, Belpost, Hill and Anarchy, it's out of those 3 at the moment for contention for the 2012 flag. I can't see any other club getting close at the moment unless the season gets some better form going from one of those sides. East Geelong perhaps starting to get back to their form of last year, but I think Bannockburn, North Geelong and Werribee Centrals are going to finish middle of the road as it stands at the moment.
No, I thought, because you were calling it the final 5, so I thought that's it, the final 5.
Well, it's not the final 5 yet, it's the current final. It's the current 5 standing. Don't get me started, it'll be lying on your back and see how tall you are in a minute. So we'll do it live on television and it won't be any choice of yours, I can tell you, so don't start that. But very great atmosphere out at Winchelsea on Friday night. The new lights, by all accounts, fantastic out there. And you must have been fairly impressed very quickly with Thomson on Saturday.
Oh, definitely. I think we spoke about it on last Saturday morning, and I know you weren't happy that we all went for Thomson and thought they were a much better side, but they are. They are probably the best side on form at the moment, shading Belpost Hill. The ladder positions both suggest that. And look, all round the ground, I know that a couple of comments were made about what I said about the 2 boys, but look, the other they've got a very, very good all-round side.
Yeah, they are a good side, Tommy Tigers. Hate to admit it, we're going to take a short break, pay some bills, come back, have Mitch Cleary's Colt segment, and a very special guest coming up from the Inverleigh Hawks. Back after this.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football is strong.
Welcome back, and we have every Saturday morning, we have the Colt segment with Mitch Cleary. Here's Mitch.
Thanks, Dick. And we're all set for another big morning of Colts action. Getting underway in Division 1 sees New Tenantual host Torquay, who are unbeaten this year from 8 games. The Tigers still find themselves unbeaten after 4 grading games and 4 Division 1 matches, while New Tenantual have been pressed in the early stages to find themselves second on the ladder. For GDFL fans in Division 2, Bannockburn will be trying to play themselves into finals contention, hosting Leopold this morning. The Tigers are only a game and a half off top spot for Geelong Amateur, while Leopold is half a game behind in 4th place. In Division 3, we have a sole GDFL matchup between North Geelong and Belmont Lions at Osborne Park. Both of these sides will know plenty about one another and find themselves inside the top 4. A win to either of these two will see them a chance to dislodge Mottawari in 1st place. Meanwhile, in Division 4, Corio travels to Torquay Spring Creek Reserve. Both teams have plenty to play for, having only won 1 match to date, respectively, this season. That's all from Colt this morning. Now it's back to you, Dick.
Thanks, Mitch. And Mitch will be back again next Saturday morning for everything that is Colts footy in Geelong area. Well, I said before the break, we had a very special guest on the show this morning. You do know the bloke. He was around for quite a few years before today, and he decided to take up coaching at the end of last year, and he took on the role of the coach of the Inverleigh Hawks Football Club. I speak, of course, their very good friend, back on the show again, Dale Smith. Good morning, Dale.
Yeah, good, Dick. It's nice to be back here on a pretty cool morning, so looking forward to the game this afternoon.
Welcome back, mate. Now, just tell me, now you've made the transition from under-18s coach of the Bannockburn Footy Club, and you've been around Bannockburn for many years. What's the difference from going from, say, the Bannockburn Footy Club as a junior coach to a senior coach in the Inverleigh Hawks?
Oh, probably from the start, Dick. Tell the boys we're starting training on such a date, and they turn up, and you don't have to make too many phone calls. And if they're not there about 2 weeks before, then you start to worry. But at senior level, you've got to go out and do a bit of recruiting. And probably the only thing I dislike about senior coaching is going out and talking to players and trying to get them to come to a club where they're not probably too familiar and don't know a lot about. So that's big difference.
You've had an indifferent start to the season. Started off a little bit ordinary. Nearly knocked off Thomson Tigers, which was probably going to be the absolute upset of the year, which would have been great for your footy club to have done that. Since then, you've had a win and everything as well. So, back on track now?
Yeah, look, I suppose the difference being is we've played 2 consistent games of footy and played 4 quarters of football, and both those early in the season we'd play half and let sides get away from us. So it was disappointing in that respect, and it's taken us a long time to get back to where we are, but it just makes a difference when your good players start to play well. You'll find that most of those other players that are not your best players, but they seem to jump on board as well. So that's where the responsibility lies, is getting our good players to play good football.
Dale, it was interesting talking to the Thomson hierarchy last Saturday at North Geelong, and they were very complimentary about your coaching the week before. They thought that your preparation, the way the team was positioned was fantastic. And I just wanted to ask you, do you build up more for a top side like that, or is it, do you still the same old, same old?
It's pretty much the same old for me, but I think the bye came at a good time for us because we were playing some pretty early football just to get away for a week, and we went to the pool one night and just sort of broke it away. So that was probably pleasing that we had that time. It was just timing. But look, against Thomson, they've had a pretty good record out there, I think, over the recent years, and I think they've beaten them every game in the last 3 or 4. So they went out there with the knowledge that they could win the game of football, and obviously, as I said, the good players played well, and Brett McConaughey was back from work commitments, so we had him for the week. So we actually threw him in, and look, just the whole side gelled a lot better and worked pretty well.
I suppose on our broadcasts over the weeks, been a lot of conjecture and a lot of fun and games about when you'd be back and what have you, but I think we can all appreciate the job that you're doing. We saw your first game against North Geelong, competitive, but not able to win the game. But you've obviously had some fairly ordinary performances since then. Was it lack of personnel, or what's the reason?
No, look, I reckon our personnel is pretty much the same. We've lost 2 or 3 from last year. Unfortunately, lost Johnny Ansell to broken leg against Bellpost Hill. Heath Hutchison, we lost to a torn Achilles out at the Belmont Lions ground. We lost Chazza Hylett against the Thomson side early in the game when he was playing on Luke Forbes. But I still think we've got a good enough side there, and there's a good enough base with the young kids coming through on the reserve side as well to play some good competitive footy. As I said, it's just these blokes now realise it's taken a long time to get back to where they were last year and have that same feel about the place, and I think that's probably been missing. I don't think they're playing for each other early in the season.
And how did you approach the difference? Like this time last year, you're broadcasting them. Obviously, your coaching ability goes without saying, the under-18s at Bannockburn and all the accolades there. How different was it to come back off the broadcast bench and then relate to the playing situation currently?
Probably at the start we sort of let it go a fair bit, because I went to them and said that if it wasn't broke, you don't need to change it too much, and there wasn't a lot I really wanted to implement into that game plan that they had, so it worked pretty well. We have changed a few things now, and we've got a few different structures in place. They seem to be working for us, and as I said, it's just now Hybens is getting some game time, and he's really finding his feet, so he's the start of everything for us.
Just quickly, the last one, 10 games to go. What's your aim from here?
Well, we'd like to win a lot more than we lose going home, definitely, Eric. We've got a run now with Anarchy, Geelong West, and Anarchy away, which is our 3rd one away. I want to point it out to the league just to make sure they know we're 3 weeks away. And 2 at home against Geelong West and Winch, and then we've got Bannockburn again. So look, we want to win. We want to win more than we lose. Definitely coming home.
Well, Smithy, we're going to put you on the spot now. The 94.7 match of the day on this afternoon is the Anarchy Roos out of Footrot Platts taking on the Inverleigh Hawks. Can you cause a big upset now that Anarchy have lost their game last week, continue on the form you had against Corio and, of course, Thomson to an extent?
Look, we're confident that we can go out there and play good footy, and they've got a few injuries last week, which is, I think, their first lot for a long time, so their balance will change a little bit. Hopefully we can get out there and exploit that a little bit and hopefully start well like we have been and continue with our run. So that's been promising, and we'll probably try and get another one of the under-18 kids up this week as well and give them an opportunity to play senior footy.
Oh, well, good luck, mate. I'll get Eric's opinion on that game after the break because we're running out of time. But thanks for coming on the show, mate. Really appreciate you coming in on a Saturday morning. I know Saturday morning's always been a bit of a bugbear to you, especially when you're on the under-18s coaching bench at one stage. But enjoy the day afternoon at Footrot Flats. And you know what it's like out there, mate. You haven't got me to worry about. half-time is sensational. The sponges are great, and that's just not the committee. I crack that gag every year.
Don't worry, mate. I'm looking forward to the hamburgers as much as anything out there.
Absolutely sensational, mate. Dale Smith, our very special guest on the show this morning, the coach of the Inverleigh Hawks and a very good friend of everybody at the GDFL Footy Show. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about all the action on this afternoon and get Eric's opinion on the 94.7 match of the day back after this.
We are the Raiders from all around your lawn. I'm here to tell you how football is strong.
Welcome back, and yes, it was great to see Dale Smith back on the show again. Of course, a regular panellist here on the GDFL Footy Show on a Saturday morning. We didn't get a chance, of course, to ask Eric what he thought about the match of the day this afternoon, as well as Grubby, who's back on the set again. Eric, it is a big game, Anarchy and Inverleigh out at Footrot Flats. Who do you think will win?
I think it's a very important game for Anarchy in particular, Dick, and I give Inverleigh a real chance. Dale's got them playing very, very well, and I think the big ground out there might suit the Inverleigh smaller running players. They'll have to contend with a couple of good players for Anarchy, with Wilson and Ladgrove and those sort of guys. Perchek, I think, might be a worry for them. But injuries, I think, might be a key factor today, and I give Inverleigh a chance.
Grubby, we were saying before the break, Inverleigh a bit stiff not to knock Thomson off a couple of weeks ago, and then, of course, they've come out and beaten Corio last week. Perceivably, they could have been going for their third in a row. Can they knock off the Roos?
Oh, look, they can. I didn't give them much of a chance last week until I saw, as you said, Eric, those injuries that they got with Salvino and Carter, two blokes that have been playing fantastic football. But, look, I just think it'll be a real close game, but Anarchy at home, trying to atone for last week, I just think Anarchy might be just too good, but it'll be a good one.
Okay, so the boys both think Anarchy will probably get the goods out there. Well, it's out of the Gun Club again on this afternoon, and Winchelsea Blues, they take on the East Geelong Eagles, who are in great form at the moment. Winchelsea yet to open their account. Grubby, you missed out on the lights the other night, Friday night. Boyle account, it was fantastic, but this is daytime footy this afternoon. Winchelsea Blues, I guess you give them no hope against East Geelong.
No, no chance at all. No, so much so that I'm not going to actually talk about the game. I just want to mention all you blokes out there that have finished playing footy not long ago and are still pretty fit, go down and watch Shorty Peters umpire, because he did an absolutely magnificent job out at Bannockburn. And some of you blokes, get off your bums and come down and maybe do a bit of umpiring, because it might just alleviate the umpire shortage that we've got, because he's just done a fantastic job, and get down and copy him.
So he's not going to give us an opinion he's going to win, Eric. Who do you reckon, mate? Winchelsea or East Geelong?
Oh, look, East Geelong by a long margin.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about there. It's a bit of a shame for the Blues. They've got the best facilities in football at the moment. They can't do any good on the paddock as we speak. Out of Victoria Park, Bannockburn Tigers take on Belpost Hill, and Bannockburn have found a little bit of form of late, but Belpost Hill seem to have come back into their most magnificent form at the moment, Eric. Can you see Bannockburn taking on the leaders, the premiership from last year?
Well, it's a worry, Bannockburn, to me, Dick. They seem to be playing well at home and not too well away. Very disappointing performance last week. And I can just see Belpost Hill appear to be going from strength to strength. I think they were very fit early. They've had just a little bit of a lapse in form in recent weeks, but they've still been able to win, and that's an important feature for them. I think this afternoon that they may well beat Bannockburn pretty well.
Grubby.
Yeah, look, both sides in the 5, but unfortunately we're heading towards what we had last year. The two top sides are streets ahead of the others, and Bannockburn won't be good enough to topple the Panthers.
No, I think Belpost Hill will be too good there. It's out of the Keith Barclay Oval again this afternoon. The North Geelong Magpies taking on the Belmont Lions Football Club, with fiery Freddie Logan could be out there. There's one bloke that's out there at the moment, Eric, called Chris Canavan, and he's absolutely doing everything possible, kicking a mountain of goals, 12 goals last week. They're going to have to really be on their form, North Geelong.
Well, Chris was probably one of their key forwards when they were able to win a premiership some years ago, Dick, and he's now back at the club, and a very, very good player. And I would think he's one that North would need to worry about this afternoon. Look, first half last week, I was very, very impressed with North. They took it right up to Thomson, made a real game of it. But I think they got tired as the game went on. And today, I don't think the opposition will be as strong, with no disrespect to Belmont Lions. And I think North Geelong can win. And they need to win these sort of games to maintain their chance to stay in the top 5.
Do you give Belmont Lions any show at all, Grubby?
Oh, I do. I think they're starting to play a lot better footy. I know their opposition wasn't great last week, but they had a tough draw early, and they're just starting to hit their straps. As you said, Canavan was fantastic. I love Briggy going into the middle last week. He was sensational in the middle at North Geelong. I couldn't believe it. If he had a little bit bigger engine, he'd be a dangerous player, because he still goes down and kick goals. I'm going to go for an upset. I'm going to go for the Belmont Lions.
Oh, I thought you'd do that. You don't like North Geelong, I can just tell. But I must admit, with Briggy, it was interesting, because it was a little bit like the Pavlich in AFL. When he wasn't kicking goals down to the forward line, they brought him up the ground, And Briggy set up a great lot of opportunities there a couple of times there, getting a lot of clearances out of the centre, and I honestly thought they could have been the difference in the two sides at the end. Not till I kept coming back, but the Tommy Tigers, that's why they're on top of the ladder. They're a good side.
Well, exactly. But I tell you what, Briggy got it out of the centre, got it again at centre half, ran out. He kicked more goals when he was on the ball than he did at full forward. I thought he was tremendous on the ball.
Yeah, I think that might be a hint there to maybe play him up the ground a
He'd
little
have to
bit.
get a bit fitter, though.
You reckon?
Yeah, you got to rotate in your general rotations. You can't just go on there 2 or 3 times a game.
Well, speaking of the league leaders, Thomson Tigers, it's out of the Godfrey Street Thunderdome. They take on the boys from the Duck Pond, Grubby's mob. And I'll go to you, Eric, first. The Tommy Tigers, well, they can do no wrong at the moment. Can there be an upset here this afternoon?
Well, I actually saw this particular game last year. It was one game that I did call out of Thomson. They played Werribee, and Werribee played outstandingly well, but I don't think they're the same side this year. The only thing about it, it might surprise people to think that I believe Werribee might play better on the smaller ground. Thomson ground's smaller than Galvin Park,
Yep.
and I think it might suit Werribee, but Thomson are playing some very, very good football. The improvement that they had last week, they got Matty Warland in first game, obviously not that fit, not that game fit, but I tell you what, every game he'll get fitter,
I'll tell you
and he'll be a great player for them. I really don't see Werribee troubling Thomson this afternoon.
Great weather for Ducks this afternoon, Grubby.
Well, that's the type of weather they might need. They might need a blizzard down there, I think, because North Geelong were good. It looked like a funny old game down at Werribee, though. They never even scored a goal in the last quarter, Werribee, and hung on to win. Thompson's a hoodoo ground for them. Even when Werribee up near the top and Thompson on the bottom, they struggle. I don't think they can beat them down there.
Can't beat them there. Yeah, I'm pretty well sure that the Tommy Tigers might get a win, but you never know, because the Werribee Central's Footy Club don't write them off yet. It's only halfway through the season, and they're capable of still making finals contention in 2012. Last game on this afternoon, Grubby, I'll go to you. Geelong West and Corio out of the Church Street ground. Geelong West, well, they're struggling a bit at the moment, but Corio aren't exactly setting the world on fire. And we know at Church Street that West can play a little bit better, and they're capable of doing something out of the ordinary. So can they do it against the Devils?
Oh, look, they can do it. Don't worry about that. I thought Corio, we were giving Corio a few raps early, and they probably haven't quite come up to the standard that I thought they would come up to. I think their young blokes are probably they're playing well enough, but they just haven't quite improved enough yet. And their older players, unfortunately, they are getting a bit old, these blokes, and hopefully they stick around while the young blokes come through. West at home, as you said, are good. Oh, I don't know. I think I'll go Corio just.
Eric, any chance to West?
I'd give them a real chance, Dick. They suddenly found this year, a few weeks ago, the ability to win a game, and that'll stand them in good stead today. I'd give them a real chance to beat Corio at home.
Well, that's it for this
Harrison.
Sorry?
Harrison, 7 out of 7.
Yeah, great effort.
How
wasn't
good
it?
is that? This kids can play. Don't worry about that.
Unbelievable. Well,
Sorry,
that's it. That's okay, mate. That's it for this afternoon. All the games there have been covered now. Should be a great afternoon in footy. Before I go, Eric, very tragic news through the week. Football lost one of their great gentlemen of the game, not just so much for the GDFL, but football Geelong in general in Max Fenimore, a great friend of everybody in footy.
Yeah, certainly a great friend of mine as well,
Yep.
Dick. He and I were business partners some years ago, and it'll be a sad loss not only to football but cricket in the Geelong area.
I know his funeral should be on Monday morning, and I'm sure there'll be a big turnout there from everybody in football that recognised the guy that was an absolute gentleman and a really nice bloke to be around. If you called in the Sale Yards Hotel bottle shop there, you'd always get a big smile and away from Maxie Fenimore. Don't you worry about that. So condolences to his family. Thanks again for your company on a Saturday morning at 94.7 The Pulse. Match of the day this afternoon, the Anarchy Roos taking on the Inverleigh Hawks at 1:30 this afternoon. We'll see you all again next week. Bye for now.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football